Seldom, if ever, are you going to see a good scorer shoot less than 80% from the free throw line. Why is that? Because they want the points. More than anything else, they want the points. They want the points for themselves. They want the points for their team. They know that every free throw matters, even if it's the middle of the first quarter. Because it could end up being a 2-point game, and you don't want to miss 2 free throws. They take great pride in this. All the hours they put in the gym, they also put on the free throw line. Seldom, if ever, will you see a legitimate scorer shoot less than this from the free throw line. Always make sure your big people are lined up with big people. Sometimes, you know, your players aren't paying attention, and you'll end up with a 6'6" guy here against a 6'2" guy here. Is that a good situation? There's 6'5" guys over here lined up against a 6'3" guy. Is that what you want? Who has control over that? You do. You say, hey, you go on that side. Big man, you're on that side. Let's line this up.
In order to consistently maintain a high scoring average, the scorer must score at least 10 points a game from the free throw line. That means he's going to take at least 10 shots, preferably more, from the free throw line. He does that by aggressively going to the basket, under control, but aggressively going to the basket and drawing contact. That contact can result in either a foul where he goes to the foul line for 2 shots, but oftentimes he can get off a good shot, score, and then go to the line for a 3-point play.
A scorer more than likely will play all areas of the court. If it's a center, it's a little more difficult. If you're talking about a center that's a scorer, that's a little more difficult. You don't see a lot of centers that can really get up and down on the break. Who's an example of a center that does a pretty good job of this in the NBA?
David Robinson.
David Robinson, exactly. He's also a great athlete, isn't he? Played with a buddy of mine that was a college player. Played on the same team. We had a point guard that was very good at delivering the ball. Whenever the big guys got a rebound, we probably did 50 sprints a night, just dead-on sprints, because we both knew if we got ahead of the other guy, point guard was so good, we were the ones he was going to give the ball to, and the guy would deliver it to us. Scorers are always calling for the ball. In the post, cutting through the lane, out, popping out on the perimeter, getting ahead on the fast break. Typically, most centers that are scorers won't be quite as capable of that, but anybody else, Malone's a great example. Malone is a scorer. You know, he will fill the break on the lane, he'll take jumpers, he'll go on the post. So he's an example of a big guy that gets up and down the court. Again, on the break, you'll see them always calling for the ball. It's not that they're selfish, it's that they understand the game. They're not going to call for the ball if there's a defender right beside them. They're going to call for a ball when they're open, because it helps their teammate let them know that they have an open player ahead of them, or trailing them, in whichever case it is. Scorers just do what the team needs. They'll set strong screens. They definitely know how to seal defenders at any size. Because why is it important to seal a defender? If you go set a screen and you seal a defender, why is that important?
Because you can get an easy layup if you seal.
Or an easy shot. If you seal your player, the opposing player, you seal the defender, what do you end up with in your hands? The ball. That's why they're so good at sealing defenders on out-of-bounds plays. They want the ball. So they don't care what the obstacle is. You know what? Their only goal when they go to screen somebody after they screen is to seal them off so they can get the ball in their hands. That's why they're so effective at it. They definitely can read when the entry pass is bogged down. And they read it quicker than everybody else typically because, again, what do they want in their hands? The ball. They believe their team is better off with the ball in their hands. So they're going to go get the ball. It's not really something that most scorers think about. They just want to win. To them, trying to win the game is their leadership responsibility. Whether it's throwing an assist to a teammate because they have the ball in their hand or doing whatever it takes to win. They always out-hustle other players at the right time. Do you understand what that means? Scorers really don't have a mentality of, oh, I have to lead the team. They just have worked so hard at their skills, and they know that if they have the ball in their hand, they can help their team win. So their whole objective is, I'm going to get the ball, and I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to take charge of this game, and if I've got an open teammate, of course the open teammate gets the ball, because scorers understand the value of that. So their whole understanding of leadership is they really don't think about it. They're just going to go take charge. One of the ways that they take charge is by the example they set in practice. Do you think scorers work hard in practice?
Yes.
Sure they do. We talked about Larry Bird being Rookie of the Year in his first year. Bill Fitch every day made him play one-on-one the way we talked about. Every day he had to play one-on-one against a different player because Coach Fitch understood the value of being able to attack and read a defender, and he knew Larry Bird had the work ethic to make it happen, didn't he? 1 year later, NBA title. A scorer is a go-to player at crunch time. Without question. Doesn't matter where they play on the court, they're going to be a go-to player at crunch time. You want them on the court because they're going to make something happen. Whether they score, get on the free throw line, set a teammate up, they have the mentality. They know if the ball's in their hands, if they don't draw a double team, they're going to make something good happen. And if they do draw a double team, they're still going to make something good happen because they won't force the issue. They'll get somebody an open shot. A scorer trusts and builds up their teammates. Why? Because they understand they need them to win. If all they cared about was scoring points or getting the scoring title, they wouldn't do that. Scorer wants to win above all else. Above all else, they want to win. They want to be successful. Doesn't mean they want the limelight. They just want to be successful.
He is the guy that we go to when we need points. If there's a slight drought or if we're opening up a quarter or opening up a half, we set up plays specifically for him to get him in the ball where he's capable of scoring at will. He needs to be a very good jump shooter, but he also needs to be able to drive to the basket aggressively, creating opportunities to score for himself, either off the dribble for a layup, a mid-range jump shot, drawing a foul, or being able to draw a couple of defenders and then kicking the ball to another teammate for an easy basket.
Areas of the court that you're going to play in, the entire court. Scorers are predators. They're looking for ways to break you. Now, typically, if you're a low post scorer, that's a little more difficult. But they will be all over the court to do what they have to win a game. If you're a center, and you have a scorer's mentality, you obviously understand your most valuable spot is going to be in around the blocks, don't you? And on defense, after what we saw the other night, your most valuable spot's going to be last line of defense, protecting the paint. So it doesn't mean they should have to be out at the 3. But game-winning shot, someone's taking a 3, it means they got to be out there to contest it. You can bet they'll probably be there. They want to win.